Hi, this is Lori from Common Sense Homesteading. This is the next bed in our July 6, 2014 garden tour. This one is one of the ones that did not go quite so well. This is supposed to be my pumpkin and squash bed, and it will be, just not quite the one that I envisioned. We had a very wet part of the spring. Not all of the spring, there were about 2 weeks when things got really dry, but for the most part, when I was planting these seeds for the pumpkins and squash, it got very, very wet, and my germination rates were very, very poor. There should be not just a hill here, but there should be one there, and one roughly every 6 feet in a grid in the bed. Instead, what we have are some transplants and a few plants that came up here and there. Now, I purposely let this bed go very wild overall, because last year I had a terrible time with squash bugs. They just went berserk in my squash patch, and the plants got stressed. It was a wet spring, then it was a dry summer. The plants got stressed, the bugs moved in, and it was a very poor year in the squash land. So this year I'm taking a different approach. I've got a wide variety of volunteers, wild plants, and whatnot growing in here with my squash. So we'll see how things go. I'm keeping a close eye on them and watching, hoping they don't move in. We've got a transplant, set of transplants there. There are a few small plants coming up here, flowers planted next to them. These are big sunflower plants that have volunteered. Burdock, oats, mullein, catnip, plantain, and I don't even know what the heck is all in here. Oh, borage. Lots of borage. Here's another squash plant. Here's one of the hills that didn't come up. There's a few in the middle of the patch, surrounded by a thicket of catnip. This is the cat's favorite bed in the garden, not too surprisingly. And yeah, here's another one that's struggling. It's been a weird year this year. This is a transplant I put in late, and it's just not really happy about the whole situation. Oh, and there's Ronnie too. And we had some volunteer lettuce come up at the end, so I'll let that do its thing too. And that is one of these south central beds in the garden that will hopefully be producing squash and pumpkins later in the season.